Hey guys, welcome back again today for another reaction video. Today we're going to do something a little bit different on the channel. I'm considering opening a second channel to learn more about the good old US of A as a Canadian. I'm going to test run a couple of videos on this channel and see if I can quantify opening a second channel to explore everything USA, everything America. Because this channel is music and it's always been music. And I said, it's always just going to be music. But there are other things that I do enjoy learning about and watching. And I really enjoy watching people react to things about Canada and learning about Canada. So I thought, I bet you there's some Americans out there that would really love watching a Canadian learn about America, right? Because it's fun. It's fun seeing somebody learn about your country. We are quite different from the United States in a lot of ways, and people from other parts of the world, they sort of bulk us in together, I think. If you're here for this type of content, let me know in the comments. Would you consider subscribing to a second channel? If you're here as a regular viewer of mine for the music, let me know if you would consider subscribing to a second channel, if it would be worth my while to make a second channel for this content, or if you would just prefer to see it on this channel and I could upload like a video maybe once or twice a week about the United States. So let me know what your thoughts on that. Let's jump right on into this. This is 13 etiquette rules that might surprise tourists traveling to the United States. I've never been to the United States, so maybe I'll be surprised to see some of these, or maybe they are the same. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
So our parents teach us to be polite, but what you learned as a kid doesn't always apply when you're in another part of the world. So if you're heading to the US anytime soon, I've got some tips for you on what we Americans consider the rules of etiquette, and some stuff that's totally okay in the US that other countries might consider rude.
Okay.
Let's start off with my favorite, food etiquette.
That's important.
Number 1, feel free to ask for some condiments. If you're eating out and your food is tasting a little bland, it's completely fine to ask for salt, pepper, or sauces to add a little zing to your meal.
Sure.
I know some places in Europe see it as an insult to the chef if you start adding a little spice of your own. But don't worry about that in the US. Nobody's going to be offended or give you weird looks if you ask the waiter for a bottle of ketchup. Even if you're at someone's house visiting, they won't see it as a jab to their culinary skills either. Some just like it spicier than others.
That's the same as here in Canada. Exactly the same.
Number 2, always tip. Okay, well, maybe not always, but it's a rare occurrence if you don't tip your waiter, hairdresser, cab driver, and so on. And only if the service was really awful. But even then, a lot of Americans feel guilty about not leaving any tip. The rule is 15 to 20% of the bill. So get ready to do some mental math each time you eat out. I've heard that tipping isn't a thing in some countries, especially in East Asia, where restaurant staff always provide good service no matter what. But in the US, it's simply a sign.
I have heard the same thing, you guys. Just to touch on the first one, I think that I don't know why it would be considered rude, because I would rather add my own salt and pepper and condiments to my meal according to my taste than have somebody over salt it or over spice it. So I'm unsure how they would be able to prepare a meal where this is considered rude in other parts of the world to ask for salt and pepper or ketchup or sauces. How would they be able to prepare a meal for everybody to suit everybody's taste? Because some people don't like too much salt, or some people don't like any salt. And like the commentator said, everybody likes things a little bit different. So I'm unsure really why that would be considered rude. I would think it would be more rude to serve somebody a plate of food that was disgusting to them, over salted or over spiced. To me, that's rude, right? But anyway, different parts of the world. So far, we are exactly the same. Canada, of course, tipping culture, North America, I think as a whole, has a reputation worldwide as being heavy in the tipping culture. And I know other parts of the world, they don't tip. They don't tip. So that would be really weird to me to be somewhere that you don't leave a tip. So anyway, so far everything is the same as it is over here in Canada, exactly the same. So let's pick it right back up.
Sign of gratitude that your waiter did a good job, even though they're probably tired, their feet hurt, and they've got a bunch of other tables to tend to. Number 3. Clean up after yourself at fast food restaurants.
Yes.
Of course, if you're going to the States, I imagine a lot of your eating out will be done in fast food joints. You'll see a lot more of those than your traditional sit and be served by a waiter types of places. But anyways, if you're finished eating and your tray is now full of wrappers, used napkins, and empty boxes,
Dump it.
take it to the trash can and dispose of the garbage yourself.
Can't imagine not doing that.
Most fast food places don't have a separate cleaning staff for that. It's pretty much always the cashier that needs to find time between ringing people up to go clean up the dining area. So we try to help them out a bit and clean up after ourselves.
Right.
Number 4.
Exactly.
Open gifts immediately in front of the giver. Now, I was pretty surprised when I found out that opening a gift as soon as you get it is considered bad manners in certain parts of the world. I guess some cultures see it as kind of greedy when you start tearing into a present right away. In the US, it's pretty much the opposite. Open it as soon as you get it, right in front of the giver.
Really?
That way, they can see your reaction and you can thank them right there on the spot. There are also no rules about using both hands or a certain hand when giving or receiving a gift. Just grab it and open it already.
Okay.
Number 5.
That's a little, okay.
Be ready for
I just want
small
to comment
talk.
on that, you guys.
How about that game last night?
Okay, so let me know if that's customary or if it's like it is here. So if I come to your house on your birthday and I have a present, I would normally say, come on, open it so you can see what it is. I don't want you to open it later if I'm not going to be here, because I do want to see your reaction. I want to see if you like it and everything. But normally it is something that you would suggest that the person does. It's not, they don't just grab it and start ripping into it. Was he exaggerating there? Is that what it's like in the States? If I come to your house with a gift, do you just grab it and start ripping into it? I can't. I'm finding it hard to picture that in my head, how that would how that would look to somebody who wasn't used to it. It would really kind of take me aback for a second. I'd be like, wow, this person is very excited about their gift. That person would be so fun to give gifts to, though, that I'd probably go and buy him another one just because that was, such a trip watching them react to the gift if they just grabbed it and started ripping into it. we don't just grab it and start ripping into it.
Ready for small talk.
I'm always ready.
How about that game last night? Whew. When's this weather gonna let up already? Yes, Americans love small talk, so don't be surprised if a stranger just starts chatting with you while you're waiting in line or sharing an elevator.
Well, that's good to know.
It could be sports, the weather, traffic, anything, just to have a short, light conversation. I can't really say why we like talking to people we don't even know, but I mean, if you're sharing a space with someone, are you just going to totally ignore their presence? That'd be awkward. Oh yeah, and you'll get asked how you're doing a lot, even by strangers. It's usually waiters and cashiers that'll greet you with a, "Hi, how are you today?"
Right.
Just answer with "Fine, and you?" Even if you're not exactly having a fantastic day.
Okay.
Number 6.
Pretty much the
Expect
same
a lot
here.
of smiles. First of all, let me bust the myth that Americans constantly walk around smiling ear to ear.
Is that a
Nobody
myth?
does that.
I've never
because
heard
that'd
that
be
myth.
weird. But again, if you're sharing a space and making small talk with a stranger, or maybe someone opens or holds the door for you, they'll smile at you. And it's polite if you do the same.
And say thank
Cashiers and
you.
waiters also greet you with a big friendly smile. I read somewhere that this goes back to our early history as a country, built by people who all spoke different languages. They didn't understand each other all that well, so they just smiled. But I still think we just like to be open and kind.
Okay.
Number 7.
That's awesome, you
Respect
guys.
the bubble.
Oh, hold on.
Now, here's a pretty funny thing about Americans.
So, as a Canadian, we have a reputation over here of being so nice and so polite and so friendly. We're big on manners. Please, thank you. Holding the door, like very, very polite. And if we know you're from somewhere else, I think we go out of our way a little bit to be really nice to you. And because we're curious about you, we're very talkative as well, very chatty. I am. So I have met plenty of Americans in my life when I was a server and a bartender. And they've all been fantastic people, and they're all very, very happy to sit there and have a good chat. And a lot of them really like to do the comparisons between Canada and the US. And I just thoroughly enjoyed all the conversations that I've ever had with any Americans. But I have not heard this, that Americans have a reputation of walking around smiling all the time. I didn't know that this was myth busting to say that that's not a thing. I didn't know it was a thing. I'd never heard that before, you guys. I thought that was more attached to Canada, actually. So, anyway, another thing that's exactly the same.
Number 7. Respect the bubble. Now, here's a pretty funny thing about Americans. We're friendly, we love to chat, but we also really like our personal bubble.
Yes.
The unspoken rule is to stand about an arm's length away when you're talking with someone. We're also not too big on touching during conversation, because this can be misconstrued as a way of flirting. Of course, the rule doesn't apply with close friends and family, but still, even then, most Americans aren't too touchy-feely.
Pretty much the same.
Number 8. And definitely no kissing.
No kissing.
I know in countries like Spain and France, people often greet each other with a peck or two on the cheek. No. There might be some Americans who greet the European way, but overall, we don't kiss each other as a way to say hi.
No, we don't.
Again, my personal bubble is my sanctuary.
Canada either.
So don't come in it with puckered lips ablazing. It's best to just say hi, smile, and keep it at that.
No.
Number 9. Being loud is usually okay. The stereotype of the loud American tourist might ring true most of the time, since we tend to project our voices, even out in public. It's not that we're yelling all the time, but I'd say we certainly speak louder than people in Europe or Asia.
Oh.
I've gotten some friendly reminder to take it down a few decibels when visiting my friends abroad.
Really?
But hey, if you're ever in the States, feel free to laugh out loud or get particularly animated while telling a joke.
Okay.
But of course, there's a time and place for that. You still have to hush down in places like libraries.
We are going to the library anyway.
Number 10. Indirectness is politeness. So here's the thing about Americans. A direct, no, I don't want, or like that, is seen as pretty rude. But if an American gives you a polite, no thanks, I'd rather not, or I don't think that's the best idea, that doesn't mean that they're on the fence about it. No means no, even if it's said indirectly and super politely. It's frowned upon to try and convince someone to do something or change their mind because it's seen as pushy and disrespectful to their wishes.
Wow.
Number 11. Sit in the back seat of a cab. Now this is something interesting I found out about Australia and New Zealand. There, it's considered rude to take the back seat of a cab because it's almost like you're showing that you expect to be chauffeured by someone who's lower than you. Well, don't worry about that in the US. In fact, you should ride in the back seat because the driver might give you a weird look otherwise.
Really?
It's not an elitist thing, and you can still make friendly small talk from the back. Just respect the driver's personal bubble, that's all.
So here, you guys,
12.
it would be sort
Feel
of
free to keep your shoes
pause that. So here it would be what? Feel free to keep your shoes on inside. No. Here it's either way of taking cabs occasionally. I usually just hop right in the front seat because here all the cabs are vans, and yeah, I don't want to have to open that big old sliding door and hop in the back. I just hop right in the front seat. And what was the one before that about Americans not being so direct in, that they consider it rude to just say, no, that's not for me. Really? That surprises me a little bit because I always thought that Americans were pretty much known for being quite direct.
On inside. I had a friend from Russia recently ask me, Why is it that in all American movies, people are walking around their house with their shoes on? And I just told them straight up, because that's what we do.
No.
Now, there are plenty of families here that don't have a no shoes indoors policy, although I'd say the majority don't. So here's a good rule of etiquette to live by if you ever visit an American's home.
Ask?
When you walk in,
I take mine
ask
off.
if you should take your shoes off at the door.
Ask,
If they
yes.
say, nah, you're okay,
Take 'em off
don't
anyway.
feel bad about walking around their house in your shoes.
No, I
I
can't
know
do
it
it.
seems bizarre to most people around the world, but it's A-okay here.
No, it's not. No, we're not doing
13.
that.
It's
No.
okay to keep it casual. Overall, I'd say the biggest thing about Americans is that most of us are pretty casual and laid back.
That's
If
a good
you're
thing.
ever out and about in the US, you'll see a lot of people running errands in sweatpants, gym shorts, baseball caps, and even their PJs.
That was running.
But it's not just about clothes either. We often keep it on a first name basis, even with people that are generally referred to more formally in other countries. For example, most of the time your boss is just Jim or Janet, not Mr. or Mrs. Jones. You might start off more formally, but I guarantee you that that person will say right off the bat, hey, call me Jim.
That's the same
Now,
here.
what would be weird is if their name isn't Jim. Maybe it's Howard or Benny. Then what you say is, hey, call me a cab. So, are any of these Americanisms different or the same in your country?
Dad jokes.
And to all my fellow Americans, can you add anything to the list? Let me know down in the comments.
Anyway, you guys, the shoes in the house thing. No. That would be considered so rude if somebody comes in your house over here and just tramps in with their shoes on. Are you kidding? No, you don't bring the outside inside. It's dirty. It's not just the dirt that you can see. It's the dirt that you can't see. There has been occasion where, like in the States, where people will say, oh, it's okay. Just leave your shoes on. The floors are dirty. I can't do it. I can't do it. I will walk with my socks across your dirty floor. So, anywho, that would be the biggest difference that I spotted. That's really the only difference that I spotted in this list. And I was surprised by a couple of the things. So let me know, you guys. Was the list correct? Is this correct? Was he right in everything that he said? And what else would you like me to react to? Go find some videos if you'd like me to learn anything about the States. Drop it in the comments. Drop the link in the comments. Let me know if you would be interested in a whole channel about this, right? Canada to US differences, or Canadian learns about America. And we'll just go from there. But yeah, this was a fun video, and I do enjoy these type of videos. I think they're fun, they're educational. You get to learn a little something, you get to have a little giggle, and yeah, it's a little different from the music for a change, right? So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me again today, you guys, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.